It was so great to see the return of the Lone Star Showdown after years of this game being taken away. Texas came into this game trying to prove something, because even though they were the number 3 ranked team by the committee, since Michigan ended up having the season they had, they really did not have an impressive win on their resume. So even though everyone knew this team was talented and were solid, some were wondering just how good this team really was. And we got to find out in a road game in one of the most hostile environments in college football with the 12th man. Dude Perfect had everyone hyped up from game day, but this was a game where Texas went in there and controlled the scoreboard from start to finish. They didn't dominate, but there was never a doubt. And they reproved what most people were thinking. This team is a contender, and they've been consistent all year compared to some of the other top tier teams, and I want to talk all about it. But before I begin, I would really appreciate it if you would drop a like and subscribe. It only takes 5 seconds, plus you can always change your mind. We are on the road to 40,000 subscribers, and with your support, I believe that we can get there super fast. You know, it's kind of funny to me. I personally am not a Texas or an A&M fan, but from the stuff I've been watching, I've seen people talking about how because it's been so long since we've seen this game, they almost forgot what the magnitude of it felt like. For some adults, they had not seen this game since they were a kid. Since Justin Tucker hit that game-winning field goal, it has been so long. Now he's a Hall of Famer, and watching this game felt like a blast from the past, and the atmosphere absolutely lived up to the hype. And let's talk about the game. Texas scored the first touchdown starting off with a Quinn Ewers 26-yard run. Wisner broke off a 22-yard run, an 11-yard run, and a 10-yard run, and then Arch Manning took it in 15 yards on a play that completely silenced the house that Johnny built. Texas then in the second quarter added to that lead when Ewers connected with Matthew Golden for a huge 44-yard gain, and then he found Jaden Blue for the 7-yard touchdown. When this happened, the score was 14-0, and all the energy was gone. And all of a sudden, this game was the Longhorns to lose. There was not too much offense the rest of the way, especially in the second half for the Longhorns. In the final 2 minutes before halftime, Bert Auburn nailed a 28-yarder to put Texas up by 3 possessions with a score of 17-zip. And later, the Aggies would finally get on the board when Will Lee took an interception to the house. So really, the Longhorns offense was the only reason the Aggies got on the board at all in this one. But other than that pick 6, Texas played a really good game from start to finish. That huge goal line stand was the way they put a stamp on this game, and they have solidified their spot in the college football playoff. But first, they will take on Georgia in the SEC championship game. This will virtually be a home game for Georgia, playing at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. But this will be an interesting one for me. Obviously, both teams want to win and they want that bye, but it just has the feel that there will be more effort put into the actual playoffs rather than this game. But at the end of the day, both schools want to be SEC champions. I think Texas will be the favorite in this one, no doubt about that. And I think Georgia showed that they are not like some of their past teams this season. I mean, that last game against Tech was a complete struggle from start to finish. As an unbiased fan, the refs gave them that game. There was a tip ball that was called pass interference. There was some major missed holdings. A lot was required in order for Georgia to win that game in the 8 overtimes they played. But back to the A&M game, that 4th and goal stop by big old number 91 Ethan Burke really was something else. I think it really coincides with the entire identity makeup of this team. It's something that Steve Sarkisian has been making a point all the way back to spring. He shifted the culture to become way more multifaceted, which is something you have to be to have success in the SEC. You've got to be able to win by playing different styles of football. When Sark first got to Texas, they could find ways to win games from playing shootouts, but they weren't going to win from running the ball. They weren't going to play good defense like that, but now they can be dominant in any phase of the game. The team that is going to hoist the trophy in Atlanta is going to be what team with a loaded roster is playing their best ball at the right time. That is going to be the team that wins it all. Now, when you look at the final score of that game against A&M, 17-7, the offense doesn't really stand out. I mean, 17 points, not really that impressive. But when you take into account that environment, the history of the rivalry returning, I mean, it was nasty out there. Just controlling this game on the road from start to finish showed me all that I needed to see. Quintravion Wisner, I know I mentioned him earlier, but he really is a powerful back that runs with his hair on fire. And he just adds to the depth of this roster. Kelvin Banks is going to be a top 10 pick at left tackle. He came out of this game for a little while, and if you didn't know the team like that, you really would not have even realized it. That is how much everything is clicking. But back to Wisner, back in fall camp, the Longhorns lost a few guys to injury in the backfield, and we all thought they would have a glaring hole in the running back position throughout the season. But Texas prepared and made sure everyone knew their role. Wisner knew that he would have a big opportunity this year, and he has filled the hole seamlessly, and now is being asked to carry a heavy load. I think Texas is going to go into the upcoming game against Georgia with something to prove after how the last game went. I think these are two teams that are in completely different situations now. This is basically a home game for Georgia, but I really do think if nothing crazy weird happens in this game, I think Texas wins. I think they are the better team, but Georgia can win this game. There are many scenarios I can think of where they come out on top. But even if that happened to be the case, the great thing is that the season is not over. Alright, now moving on, let's talk a little bit about Quinn Ewers. He did struggle a bit with that ankle injury in this game, but Arch Manning was able to step in and deliver at times. The Longhorns did struggle a bit offensively, but again, it was a hostile environment and they managed the game. Ewers threw for 218 yards, and if he avoided the mistakes, he would have had a near perfect game. But he did make the mistakes, and they were pretty costly. We've had that going for a little bit, Sarkisian said, according to Sports Illustrated. It was figuring out the right timing of it, naturally this week with Quinn being limited some. Arch got some more reps, we just wanted to keep him engaged in the game and find some opportunities for him. And those opportunities happened to come from his legs in the ground game. Let's take a look at what some of the players from Texas and the media had to say about this game and what the outlook for the rest of the season is moving forward.
Texas walking into College Station and getting what felt like to me and to most people that watched that football game, a definitive victory over Texas A&M. Final score was 17-7. What did we learn about Texas here? I think in a lot of ways now, we have been a little bit too quiet as the college football public around how good Texas really is and how good they're going to be moving forward.
It's Texas beating up on A&M like Notre Dame beat up on A&M, and as is probably apropos, both Texas and Notre Dame look like they're going to be playing in the college football playoff, and A&M looks like it is not. And ain't nobody got nobody to blame but A&M themselves, right?
Your defense had one of the best games of their season. 4th and goal. 4 minutes left in this game to make it a one-score game. How did your defense win this game?
Our defense was fantastic all night. They really shut them out. You know, they got the one interception on the tip ball for the long touchdown, but our defense was fantastic all night long.
That's really all I got for this one. Thank you all so much if you made it to this point, and if you enjoyed and haven't yet, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe, because your support truly does mean the world. And also, let me know what you would like to see next, and until next time, I will see you all later.